All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me apologize if you're hearing the fan. I'm trying to turn it away. Let's see if I can get it more on myself and off the computer. Right. All right. So oh, hold on. Yeah, sorry about that too. Oh my God, I forgot that this. Oh God. Uh, so here's the mistake that I made. I decided that I was going to go live, but I'm using the wrong computer. Using the wrong computer. Oh my God. All right, so I'm going to see if I can join myself live. I'm gonna see if I can do that. To see if I can. Oh, come on, Windows 10. Don't do this to me. Oh man. Yeah, so this is the beauty of faceless content, right? Yeah. No, okay. Hold on. I can find a video, but it's not gonna be the video that I want to show you. You understand? Like let me give you this for instance, right? Yeah, I see. This is a Bossman digital, media video. And also, oh God, sorry. I'm surprisingly lively in the evening. Oh my God. As opposed to my morning counterpart. You'd think that I'm not a morning person. Oh man. All right. Uh no, I don't want to switch though. I don't want to switch. I want to join. Can I join it? Oh my God. Please don't switch me out. I don't want to switch. All right. I don't want to switch. The meeting ID. Yeah, this one, right? Yeah. Don't connect my audio. Turn. All right. So I'm gonna say yes to this. I'm gonna say yes to this. Okay. So let me click join. Uh, I'm no, I'm gonna stay a participant. That's what I'm gonna do. All right. I'm hoping everybody can still hear me. Um. Okay. Good. All right. That time. Really? Oh, I have to. All right. So I have the computers too close to each other. Well, that's just great. Right? The good thing is there's no crazy echo, right? At least I wouldn't think. Because normally what happens is um if the devices are too close to each other, you hear this uncomfortable device screeching, right? All right, so let's see if I can find. No, hold on. I'm going to test this. Huh? Hey, yeah, I'm hoping that you guys are hearing the echo. You know, I hope not. Uh, uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Maybe I should use this as a test run and maybe probably download this, Anyway, let me look for wait, you cannot start screen share while okay, fine. All right. So let me do that then. Let what? Okay, let me close that. All right, good. All right, so I close that. All right. So Ah, there we go. There we go. There we go. Uh-huh. Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to play a few videos. Oh Lord, why does it look like that? It's awful. All right, let's play. Now, before I move on, so starting on this day, on these calendar days, we're going to go TikTok live every morning at 8. Right? So I'm going to honor those commitments every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 8. Then, after having done that, this is what's going to happen. So, we're going to march on over to the Facebook Live for essentially the TikTok Live replay. Right? So, and then any questions that anybody has to ask about the classes, like anything that you've seen in the previous videos, you can always address that over here. Yeah. And again, I will circulate this video so that I can answer those questions as well. Right? So, if you have any questions you want to ask me, you press that blue button right there. Right? That's how you do it. And again, next time I'll probably do a better job because see, look at this. It's so, you understand? That's why it's good to have the tablet. I left it. Yeah. So there you go. Eh? Yeah. So the TikTok live is at 8 in the morning. The Facebook live will be a replay of the TikTok live at 10. Yeah. And just to be consistent, if we start in the morning at 8, we start in the evening at 8. Right? The YouTube live will be similar to the Facebook live, right? A replay of the TikTok and any questions you have, as I always say. Yeah? Yeah, so remember this page, that button, anything you want to ask me about what you've seen before, right? The first video, the second video, and this video. All three of them will be playing in the live, so you know. So this is the, let me put it here. So this is the timetable for February 2025 regarding all the times I'm going to go live, right? So it starts with the TikTok in the morning, followed by the Facebook, and then the YouTube, right? I will do a replay and we can actually go through what it was that I did. Yeah, and who knows, maybe over here I could do a TikTok and a YouTube live at the same time, depending. And who knows, maybe I could pull that off. Maybe it'll be a little bit more fun. So in any case, remember all of this. Yeah, I'm going to play this over and over again in every live. Okay, so that was a lot of fun. Now, there's something that I forgot. I forgot that I could mute the entire computer. I could mute the entire computer. Oh, okay. All right. I don't know if you guys can see this, but if you can hear it, that is my, yeah. Yeah. So okay, I'm gonna play. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this dog outside so he can have his little exercise, right? And yeah, I'm going to play one of the TikTok lives that happened. Yeah, we can do a little bit of a marathon, right? Oh crap, I forget. I can't do it with this computer. So let me go over to the other machine and play it from there. Um, let's see if I can do that. Let's see if I can do that. Right? Yeah, I muted the entire computer. Yeah. Okay. All right, so let me look for it. Let me look for it now. There's a lot of lives that I did. All right, go play this one and see. Oh, that's interesting. Yes. So please, please don't forget, right? Join we still a learn, right? That's one. Join we still a learn. Two, my TikTok live. And you know what's funny? I kind of switched up the schedule, right? So instead of it being 8 and 8, yeah, I kind of switch up things a little bit. So yeah. So this isn't exactly um yeah, this is sort of what happened before. But what you saw before this is the real deal, right? So anyhow, the most important part of this that you see on the whiteboard right there is join the WhatsApp channel. Yeah, that's not difficult to do. All right. I have videos that show you how to join the WhatsApp channel. Pretty easy. Pretty easy thing to do. Yeah. And also, we still learn. Listen to me. I want to continue promoting that page because at the end of the day, that is my way of, giving teachers a space to be as creative as they want to be as diverse as they want to be, and to really reach more, yeah, just to expand your reach, really, right? Yeah. So yeah. That's really the aim behind that. So let's see what this slide looks like. Okay. Yeah. Little bit low, little bit low. All right. Here, 5. All right. Now, if you square 18 over 10, you get, oh, okay. Okay, so I was doing, okay. All right, so here's something I neglected to do, right? It is not 18 and 1 over x squared. It is 18 times 1 over x squared. So I must apologize if anybody got confused by that. Yeah, I have to apologize for that, right? So hold on, give me a second while I want to double check and see what my live has been sounding like. Okay, all right. So yeah, we've not been doing too bad. All right, we've not been doing too bad. All right. No, let's I want all right. Let me see how much further I went to that. Oh, this is a cool thing. I mean, because I don't necessarily have to play the entire video. I can just stop at certain points, play a little bit, stop at certain points, play a little bit. Yeah, this is a learning experience. You see that? That's why, I have a page called We Still a Learn because, who said I have to play the entire video? Right? Who said I have to do that? I mean, don't get me wrong. The Facebook has the replay. So if you want to see the replay, I can make that available, blah, blah, blah. That's something I can commit to, right? But then we have this where I can just go through look at that. We have x and x minus 3 and 2x, and they say that the entire length of the straw is equal to 21. Therefore, x, which is 1x, and x minus 3, which is 1x minus 3. 1x minus 3 plus 1x is 2x minus 3. You add that to 2x, you get 4x minus 3 is equal to 21. Therefore, you add 3 to both sides. 4x is equal to 24. You divide both sides by 4. X is equal to 6. And therefore, you'll have 6. 6 minus 3, which is 3. And 12. So 6 plus 3, 9. 9 plus 12 is 21. There you go. Yeah. Now, mind you, I apologize for the ramble. Right? Oh, right. Okay. So one of the tricks behind this type of question is that the base of the triangle is the same as the length of the rectangle, right? It's the same thing. And so a lot of times when people do these type of questions, it can be a bit, confusing, right? Can be a bit confusing. But yeah, it's worth the oh crap. Okay, Facebook did something that okay. So a teacher colleague of mine who is overseas, her birthday is today, and I did not even remember what is today. Today is February 10th. All right. All right. So I'm going to try and put that down on the calendar. Right. So yeah, so let's see if I can find another live stream that I did. Anytime is well, let's be fair. Try this again. Okay, I might play this. Yeah, I might play this and then get back to you when I get back from my little adventure outdoors. So wow. Okay. Give me a second while I try and organize myself. All right, so I have that. Let's press play. All right, hold on. Let's see what this one's saying. It's saying the width is 350 meters square. So let me see that. Okay. So that itself is the question, yeah? All right. So, what is the length of the field? Then the area, then whatever else. So, I mean, you can draw the rectangle. The width is actually A. 7 more than twice. So twice the width is 2A. If you add 7 to that, it's 7 plus 2A. So you can write 2A plus 7. Right? So we just answered part 1 by doing that. Right? Now, obviously the area is length times width. So the actual area of the field is going to be A times 2A plus 7. So they make it look extremely complicated, but yeah, we literally just figured out what they want us to do. Right? So W is equal to A. twice W is what? 2A. 7 more than that is 2A plus 7, so you get that. Then this is the area. The third part of the question now is going to be, well, find the value of A when all of this is equal to 350 meters, yeah? So, this is likely going to be one of them quadratic equations. Chances are it's going to be something like that. So since we have all the info we need, alright, whatever. I mean, I took pictures of that already. So what's actually happening is, so we have A times 2A plus 7. Then we have 2A squared, 7A, and 350. That. I think we know exactly what will happen next. Because now if we minus 350 from both sides, we're going to end up with this. Alright, so I have this here. And then alright, so again, trying to get all the little. Alright, that looks. Probably go try to take that again. Okay. Alright. Okay. Right. Okay, so obviously what will happen here is that right here, so yeah. I think this is a lot easier than I think, because once you look at 350, you can think of two numbers, 35 and 10. Right? You can instantly think of 35 and 10. Right? So yeah. So I would go I would go with the numbers 35 and 10. And then the other thing is I can't ignore the first thing because it's the AC method we'll be using. So um so if I am to do this, right? If I am to do this, I have to think about this and this. Now, this I'm thinking about 35 and 10, which means I have, as prime numbers, I have 5 and 7, 2 and 5. So I'm going to have 2 times 5 times 5 times 7. No. Let me see if. Wait there. Why, that's something I sometimes see, man. And I want to get the perfect picture sometimes. I have it right, and then another time it just. Alright. Okay. So that would be the prime factors of 350. Alright, so that means the whole thing, if you multiply 350 by 2, would be 350 plus 350 is 700, right? Now 100 times 7. Okay, so that will be 2 by 2 by 5 by 5 by 7. Okay. Okay, alright. No, this can get a little bit tricky now. But there are a few combinations here. 35 and 20. That will leave you at 15, so that not gonna work. Right? There's some combinations you can use. So if you use a 5 by 7, you get 35. This here you get 20, right? But the 35 minus 20 leave you with 15, which is not the 7 in the middle. So that not gonna work. No, I tried another one. I was looking at 50 and 14. That not gonna work neither. That's just not going to work, right? Because if you use 50 and 14, you're going to end up with 36. That not gonna work. So first I try to use this, then I try to use that not work neither. Yeah. So the real question is, can we actually factorize this the way that we normally do it? I'm looking at the possibilities. So you have 35 and 20, that gave 15, so that not gonna work. 50 and 14, that not gonna work. Now we have 28 and 25. That's even smaller, right? If you try 28 and 25, you end up with 3. So that not gonna work either. So the real question is, can we even do it like this? I do, because what other option is there? There is 70 and 10. That's going to give you 60. That just not gonna work. Right? That not gonna work. Alright, how many combinations can you get with this? $35, $20. I think we tried everything. If you do this, that no work. If you go here, so that no work. No. So I guess this is one of the ones where you would have to use the quadratic formula or completing the square for this. You'd have to. So let's see what actually happens then. Alright? Let's see what actually happens. So really? Alright. So this can be confusing. So the A is going to be 2. The B is going to be 7. C is going to be minus 350. Okay. So we have so we'll have 700 times 4. 700 times 4 is what? 2,800. Because AC would be minus. AC, if you multiply 2 by minus 350, you get minus 700. Minus 700 times minus 4, you would get what? Plus 2,800. So instead of us wasting time here, we can just change all of this into a positive 2,800, right? We're not for waste of time right there, so. Right? So we can do that. Alright. Now b squared and 2a. What is b squared? B squared is, alright, so 7 times 7, that's 49. So let's do 49. 2 times 2 down here is going to be 4. Right, so all of that divided by 4. And then this is going to just be 7. Alright, so I'm going to go into the calculator and see something. because there we go. So we could not actually solve this with factorizing. And the reason why is because 2849 is not a perfect square. Right? So that kind of, threw away those hopes. Yeah? So based on what we had, there's no way we could factorize that. At least not with what we were trying to do. So it's good to know when you can do what. Right? Because it's not a good time when you end up wasting time thinking that you can factorize it. So so what you would have now is, so let's change that now to the square root of 2849. Yeah. And then what was the answer for it? I think it was 53.376. Alright. So that's what we ended up with. So we ended up with 53.376. So the two options we have would be, what would be the two options? One would be 53.36 minus 7, and another one would be like minus 7 minus 53.376. And then all of that we have to divide by 4. So yeah. And then completing the square for this would be a nightmare. So completing the square makes sense if you can factorize it, then completing the square is a good alternative. But when you find that you can't really factorize it traditionally, quadratic formula make the most sense. That way you're not wasting your time trying to figure out what will happen, right? None of these numbers could ever give us that 7 in the middle. It just couldn't happen, right? We had 4 and then this impossible number, right? 25 times 7, I don't even remember what that number is. 175? Yeah, 175 minus 4 would be 171. That would work. Then you have 20 and 35. You had 50 and 14. You had 28 and 25. Now, if it was 3A, then it could have worked. Right? If it was 3A, that would be a possibility. If it was 14A, that's also a possibility. Right? So 3A could work. 3A, 14A. What was the other one? What's the other one? 3A, 14A, and 35 minus 15. No, 15 would work because of 35 and 20. So 3A, 14A, and 15A could work. So these are examples of when you could use the AC. So therefore, the AC would work if it was the 15, the 14, the 3A or the 171. Yeah? But the number that we had was what? Number we had was 7. So therefore, AC method now go work at that point. Right? So we can't use the AC method for 7A. Can't use it for that. So yeah. I have a bad habit of having to look out of the book. So I'll go probably try to take the pictures with my phone and then look out of my phone to do this, cause yeah. Okay. There's something that I should have done last time, which was look at the individual steps on how to really the the individual steps on how to solve a simultaneous equation using the matrix method, right? Then you even have the worded version of that. No, that's alright. So let's say you have 3x plus 2y equal 1. So let's say you have this. And then you have 4x minus y equal 16. Right? Now, they always tell you that you go start off with ax equal b, and then x is equal to that. Yeah? So let me see. Oh. Alright. Now, this have two parts. This have the determinant of the matrix, or you can call it det A raised to the minus 1, because that's pretty much the same thing, if you really want to make your life easy, right? you can call it that. And then of course you have the adjoint, right? Which, if we're doing the actual translation for this, what you're really seeing is AD minus BC, right? The result of that difference, you put 1 over that, and then of course the adjoint now is, the adjoint is, let me just get a picture of that first. Get a picture of that first. Now normally the matrix looks a little bit like A, B, C, D, but your adjoint looks like minus B minus C, D goes up here, and A down there. So the inverse of a matrix has two parts. Yeah? Right, the inverse of the matrix have two parts. So therefore, this part here would have to change into the A, the X, and the well, the B is simple. This part here is B, right? So the B is 116, right? XY goes in its own 2 by 1 matrix, right? Now, just so remember, is rows then columns. So row 1, row 2, column 1, column 2. So that's why this is a 2 by 2. Yeah? Or you can call it a square matrix, same thing. Right? Now it's difficult to convert this into that because we don't change this into the matrix version yet. So let's just do that and then see what that would actually look like. So first things first, we're gonna have 116 X and Y. Then we're going to have 3 positive 2 positive 4 and a minus 1. So we're going to have 3, 2, 4 and a minus 1. So now we know our A, we know our X, and we know our B. So that is the first thing. That's the first thing we want to do. So then after that, we have to turn this into an inverse. So the easy thing to do is say, well, 3 times this, 2 times that. So it's really a cross multiplication, yeah? So that means you have minus 3 minus 8. So you're going to have 1 over minus 11. Right? So the 1 over the determinant. So therefore, if you're writing A raised to the minus 1, the first part is minus 1 over 11. Alright? And you can always work it out separately. Minus 1 times 3, minus 3. So you'd have a minus 3 and a minus 8. Right? Because this minus is always in the middle. So what you had was 3 times minus 1 minus 2 times 4. That's what you really had. So you had 3 times minus 1 minus, so if we can bracket them so we can see why we get that. Three times minus 1, 2 times 4, right? And then that gives you the minus 3 minus 8 resulting in minus 11. Right? So that's why we have that. So again, it is 1 over the determinant times the D minus B minus C A. Right? So I guess we can put that together now. So therefore, minus 1 go up here, and the 3 go down here. This is minus 2, and this is minus 4. Yeah. It's entirely messy that you end up with a fraction multiplied by some, transformation of this particular thing, right? So A always become some kind of fraction times a 2 by 2 matrix. Right, so all of that is A to the minus 1. Right? Right. So just so we know, that means all of that what we have right here is our A to the minus 1. So all we have to do now is put this beside it. Now, typically for me, when I'm doing this, I multiply this by this before I ever take this. I multiply by that. I don't go waste my time. I multiply this by all of that when I know that it's easier for me to do this first and then see what I get afterwards. Right? Let me see. And yeah, see? Yeah, just proven. 1 times minus 1 is minus 1. Minus 2 times 16 is minus 32. So this is what's going to happen. You're going to end up with minus 1 minus 32. Right. So if you end up with minus 1 minus 32, the result of that is going to be minus 33. The good thing about that already is that if you get minus 33, you know that you can divide that by 11. Right? There's the 11. So you're going to be dividing it by what? A minus 11. And if there's any truth to that, your top number is going to be a positive 3. So I always recommend that whenever you get here, multiply this by this, and then chances are this part will be easier to do after. Now let's see the next one now. We're going to have 1 times minus 4, which is a minus 4. 16 times 3, 48. 48 minus 4 is 44. So you're going to have a positive 44 divided by a minus 11. Yeah. So therefore we have our solution already. Right? So the top, Hold on there. Let me double check that. So the top number is going to be positive 3. Top number is positive 3. And number below will be minus 4. So meaning, after we multiply this by this, let us erase that. Therefore, up here becomes a, well, this is a minus 33 originally. And then this originally is a positive 44. Right. And then now, when you divide minus 33 by minus 11, you get positive 3. Yeah. Now, I forgot to write my, sorry. Now that I've actually done that part, I really should have had this as, you know, the values for x, which is xy actually. Because the inverse part we already got that done, right? So once you multiply the 2 by 2 by the 116, you end up with that. Right? And that will leave you with minus 3. No, other way around. It's a positive 3 with a minus 4. Yeah. So let me write it over. So I have a minus here. Yeah. Yeah. So what they typically do is whenever we get drills for this, they usually give you a series of like 2 by 2 matrices to turn into an inverse so you can master that part of it. And then they give you also the same 2 by 2 matrix and ask you to find the adjoint of it. So when you get accustomed to finding the inverse and the adjoint, then you start, well, not the inverse, I meant to say the determinant, or the determinant raised to the minus 1, which is basically you find the determinant and then you put 1 over it, right? You turn it into a reciprocal of itself. Yeah. So yeah, I think that that's a good little explanation of that. So yeah, I feel like one of the things that I know that this is a weakness of mine. What I need to start doing now is breaking the more complicated things into smaller steps, right? Going through the smaller steps so that way when you start doing the major questions now, it's easier to do. So do the smaller steps and then work your way up to doing something like this. So I know that I'm guilty of actually just saying, you know what, let's just solve the problem and call it a day. But then there are some, you know, there are smaller steps that you need in order to do something like this. So for example, this right here is whole heap of work on its own. because the inverse of any matrix involve the determinant and the adjoint. So you have to know how to do this to perfection on its own. And this part is not so difficult. I think this part can be a little confusing, right? Because you have to be familiar with the A, B, C, D, knowing that you have to switch them around and then the diagonal becomes negative. And then that can be tricky if the numbers are already negative. So let's say you have, let's say this was a minus and this was a minus. Then if you were to find the adjoint, they would become positive. Yeah? So I feel like that's why a lot of times they, they do that. So with that in mind, I need to look for those particular and I think it's in the green book. Right? So maybe I can look for some of that out of the green book. Yeah? So let me give myself that reminder. The green book definitely have those type of questions where they break it down so that, okay, we learn how to find the determinant, then we learn how to find the adjoint, then we put them together to find the inverse of it. So find the determinant, find the adjoint, then find the inverse. Find the determinant, find the adjoint, then find the inverse. Yeah? Because when you get comfortable doing that, when you get to this now, yeah, you can put everything together. Alright? This itself is also an important step. I feel like the most difficult part of it is turning these into the 2x2. Because everything else is just put XY here, put that right there. Yeah? That part is it don't matter what signs you see here. Always put your XY like that. And here's the funny part. If you multiply this by this, you end up with that up here anyway. 3 times x, 3x. 2 times y, 2y. Up here becomes 3x plus 2y. Yeah? And then 4 times x minus 1 times y, it becomes 4x minus y. So therefore, this makes sense. Because if you multiply this by this, you end up with that up here. So I guess what they did was them start going in a, instead of going in multiplication, they go in division. You start, instead of fast forward, you rewind. Yeah. So I think I'll just go close it here, and yeah, maybe that's that's what I should probably focus on. In terms of the kinds of questions that you'd look at, just to find the smaller steps leading up to the bigger steps. Because if we lock in on that, then when we get the entire question with the big steps now, we can do everything. So yeah. So that's a little note to self. So again, thanks for helping me to stay consistent. Right? Another thing I need to do, whether it is my phone or my tablet, I will use them as the database for the questions. So instead of me opening up the book every minute, I will just have the tablet or the phone, so I can actually just be more efficient at coming up with the questions, because I can just literally slide and just go through the gallery real quick. Right? Because trust me, there are advantages and disadvantages. Yeah, it's always good to have the book, but at the same time, yeah,
Yeah. Either way, if you go to the beach and you carry a tablet and you carry a book, and if both of them get wet, then yeah, you're equally salt. Equally salt. It don't really matter. There's not much of a. If your tablet get wet, you have to fling it in a rice. And if the book get wet, well, you have to go put it out in the sun for dry. So yeah, I guess there's no advantage in that regard. But you know, in terms of the ease of finding questions and not having to always flip through pages and things like that, then yeah. So anyhow, um, I shall. Oh, right. One more reminder. So again, when I do this at 8, I honestly, let's play it by ear. If I don't start the next live stream at 10, I'll probably be an hour late. So if you don't see me at 10, you'll see.
Okay. All right. So this is an example of one of the TikTok lives that I tend to do at 8 in the morning, right? Just giving you an idea of what that is like. Um, one of the challenges that I have really and truly is that I I guess sometimes I get ahead of myself and do a little bit of you know, the advanced stuff that, you know, will appear on a C-set paper too, right? And I mean, I feel like I've been trying to compartmentalize as best as humanly possible. But in all fairness, I guess it's okay for me to revisit fundamentals and certain, basic things like finding the LCM of two or more denominators and things like that because I see that a lot of my students need the fundamentals and things of that nature. So, you know, one of the things that I personally um I have a love for what prime numbers have done or what they can do in terms of, just allowing you to solve your problems in a meaningful way, right? Because if you're reducing fractions, once you have prime numbers, you're in a very good place. And also, I use them when I use them when I'm factorizing, when I want to find the HCF, because that's really what you're doing. When you're factorizing you know, these algebraic expressions, you're finding the HCF. You are literally finding the HCF. And I feel like a lot of times the connections, if we're looking at one of the things that I try my best to do is when I'm dealing with a topic, I want to show the connection between the topic that you're looking at and the topic you have seen before or the topic that you're going to see um you know consequently, right? So yeah, I think that's something that I try my best to do. I try my best to make the connections as tangible as humanly possible, right? um I mean, if we're talking about, say for example, you're looking at changing the subject of the formula, and you will need that for consumer arithmetic, right? Whether it is higher purchase, whether it is profit and loss, you know, um, a lot of times, yeah, a lot of times I remember struggling with consumer arithmetic because I did not make the connection between the algebra that you need versus the algebra that is connected to the different topics, right? Algebra is something you cannot really run away from. right? It is the glue holding all the mathematics together, really. I mean, the only other aspects of it that are a little bit, and even so, you can't even go into geometry without algebra anyway. You have to have a good understanding of algebra to do um geometry. But when you start, I guess when you go into calculus, you still need it, right? No, statistics isn't so heavy on the algebra. Statistics is a little bit more um number theory, right? So therefore, if you have a firm understanding of decimals, fractions, and you know how to do substitution and that sort of thing, then yeah, statistics is not my favorite, but hey, if you if you spend any amount of time on it in trying to understand it, then yeah, you'll get through it. You know, you'll definitely get through that. So I'm trying to remember all the strands. You have algebra, calculus, geometry, statistics. Um, I do believe that they separate probability from statistics, right? I do believe so, right? But yeah, there are quite a few strands in mathematics that exist, that certainly exist. But for the purpose of you doing like CSEC mathematics, right? Um, yeah, I mean, the most advanced thing I've actually seen in statistics on a CSEC paper would have been something related to standard deviation, right? And yeah, that can be tricky if you've not practiced, how to find the standard deviation your um of your problem set, right? Or of your sample data, if you would. Yeah, so yeah, it's a little different. It's a little bit different. So um there is something else I should show. So I might have okay, hold on. No. Hold on. I'm trying to do the share from the wrong computer. So let me go in here. So all right, I'm gonna press play. Okay, so let's talk about that. No, Monday to Friday, online, pep maths. This is the rate, but there's some, underscores. Not sure what that could be anything. It could be 050, it could be 500. You don't know. So if you want to know exactly what that rate actually is, you might want to go over here and press this. Right? If you press that, I will tell you exactly what it is. Yeah? So this is what it is for Monday to Friday, right? Monday to Friday, online. I want to keep the face-to-face Saturday and Sunday. No, I'll be honest, if there's a desire to do face-to-face in the middle of the week, we can make a special arrangement for that. And of course, I will accommodate you. But for right now, Monday to Friday, I want to keep those classes online. But again, if you want special consideration, I will accommodate you in the middle of the week if that is something that you'd like to do face-to-face. So again, thanks for helping me to stay in black and red for pep and be consistent. And as I always tell you, press this button and that one, honor your commitments. Now once I look like this, you can see I'm staying consistent. Now the conditions are the same, Monday to Friday. The rate, what is this? We don't know. What could these numbers be? Can anybody guess what these numbers could be? You don't know. If you want to know what those numbers could possibly be, then what you need to do is march on over to here, press a button that looks like this, it's in blue, right? So all of those commitments, press that button in blue, and I will tell you exactly what that is, right? So this is for everyone who's interested in CSET mathematics, right? Classes during the week, Monday to Friday. This will be online again. The same consideration is made. If you want to come in for face-to-face, we can make a special arrangement for that. But for the most part, Monday to Friday is always online, right? Monday to Friday online, Saturday and Sunday will be face-to-face. Now this question looks a little bit like number 7, yeah? So, yeah, just putting it out there, and not sure if you can see that. Something like this, something like that. So if you struggle with this, or you struggle with that, honor your commitments and press that. Alright, yeah. That's one of them. Let's see if I can find another one of them. Let's see. Wait there. Okay. That might have been an older one. Wow. Okay. I had forgotten. Wow. Yeah, I forgot entirely. All right, so an announcement for Pep. Well, Pep Maths. An announcement for Pep. So, one-on-one class announcement, right? It was this amount. No. So yes, ladies and gents, I will be placing this on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and probably playing this over and over in the live stream on Facebook, right? So even if I don't post it on Facebook, you'll see it circulated through the live, right? So any video that I don't post on Facebook, you'll still see it in the live. So that's the announcement. And now to just keep it real, right? So I just passed the little 60-second threshold. So I like to create multiple versions of every video, right? So this is the announcement, right? Used to be 9, now it's 3, yeah? And Saturday and Sunday, perfect time for that, so why not? Yeah? Now I suppose this is the advertising part, right? So if you are familiar, by the way, you notice that there's a difference, right? Yeah, since we all have an agreement and we all understand this has been meant, you know what? This has been out of many, yeah, 1Bossman. So to honor that commitment, yeah, it is now 1 in front of the Bossman teaching, right? So that is, yeah, that's a part of the branding consistency. Anyway, right? So if you can see the WhatsApp, whether you know, if you can see that, just press that on this, and it will take you to me regarding all of this. Yeah. So yeah. Now that's the Instagram, right? So that's pretty easy, right? So I really wish I carried the tablet. Maybe next time I'll do that. There we go. So press the button in blue. There you go. Yeah. So That way, if you're interested in any of that, you go here, press that button in blue, right? Yeah, yeah. That's it. So thanks for helping me to stay consistent, right? As I always tell you, press the button in blue and honor your commitments. No, I thought I had muted my mic. Oh my God. You probably could hear the fan in the background. Lord God, Lord God, Lord God. It's a good thing I was, um, what's the word? On my best behavior. What a good thing me did on my best behavior. Wow. Ah, all right. So all right, we're gonna pull up the other video. Yeah, I keep playing it in this order because that's the order I recorded it in, but so be it. So let me go ahead and do this. So looks like this, and it looks like this. Now, as for Saturday to Sunday, face to face or online, it's going to look like this. Whether it's face to face or online. Now again, all of this is going to be on over here on IG, and you press that button on the far right. Yeah. So where you see beside message, yeah, you just press WhatsApp and then we'll talk all about face to face online or face to face or online. Yeah. And if you're on Facebook, you press that blue button this time. Yeah. So that's it. I don't think I can make. And again, this now applies to both Pep and CSEC, right? There might be different times, right? There are different timetables. So obviously, I will make those announcements. I will circulate those videos every time I go live. Do I have to do that now? Oh, hold on. Probably not going to do it in this video, right? Okay, so yeah, I might be glitching a little bit. Well, I would hope not, but yeah. I mean, it's fine because um if I'm not able to play this video in its entirety, I can, you know, yeah, I'll figure something out. I'll figure something out. Figure something out. But you know what? I feel like I'm gonna just stop here before anything else goes wrong. So again, thanks for helping me to stay consistent. And as I always tell you, honor your commitments. And this is the first of my accomplishments. I did the TikTok, then I did the Facebook, then I did this. So I kind of proud of myself. So let's see if I can keep this going for the month of February and just continue for the rest of the year. All right. So yeah, thanks for helping me to stay consistent. And as I always tell you, honor